All right, welcome you guys. Hello, hello. Hi, hi, hi. Give me just a second. We're going to get started here. Oops, didn't mean for that to happen. All right, hello everyone. Welcome. Today we're going to be bead crocheting. I'm not quite as prepared as I want to be, but that's par for the course, right? Hi everyone, I'm so glad you guys are here. All right, we got Debbie and Lynn, Cher, Lisa, hi Kelly and Susan, Candy. Candy, you're gonna know how to crochet by the end of this video. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen, I promise. Okay, so we're gonna do bead crochet today, which is actually, it's not complicated, guys. It's a pretty simple process. All right, Lori, Julie, Cara, yay! I'm so glad you guys are excited to be here for this. I cannot wait. Everyone can hear me? Good? Everything's good. Lynn's cat, Patina, is watching, so hello, dear Patina. Hi, Pat and Gloria, Cecilia. Hello, hello, hello. So, our ingredients are going to be size 8 seed beads. You could use size 6 if you wanted. They'll just be a little chunkier. And I'm using C-Lon cord, and this is the regular size. And I get my C-Lon cord from beadshop.com. The bead mix, I'm actually going to be putting the bead mixes on the website today. We have 4 colorways that I have to put in. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make just a tiny sampling of this bracelet today, and so I'm going to do just a little bit to get it started, show you how I get it started, how I crochet the beads, how to crochet the larger beads, and then how to end it. And we're only going to do a piece that's about this big, so the tiniest bracelet in the world. Hi Chris, I'm so glad you're here with us today. Yay. Hi Holly and Robin. No, sorry. Holly and Nancy. Rosalinda. Okay. So 1.5 or a size 8 crochet hook. And you can just find this at any craft store or wherever they sell crochet stuff. And then hi Sandy, your first time here. We got the C-Lon cord, and this is just the regular size. And you can use a big needle, or I've lost all my big needles, so I have this one that has like a little round part, and you put your thread in and then pinch that part closed, and then you can curve the needle just by pulling it, and it curves. You could also put a little super glue on the end of the C-Lon cord and just string them, you know, by hand too. So don't feel like you have to have the bead spinner. It just saves some time. So I'm just barely skimming the surface here with the cord. I mean the needle. I wanted to have this part done before because it's a little finicky, but it is what it is. Okay, so for every 7 beads that you string on, for every 12 beads that you string on, it's going to give you 1 inch of beaded crocheted bracelet, or these could also be used as a necklace too, because I did these ones, they're 32 inches finished, and so I did 15. I'm going to do 15 and a half. No, 16. Oh, the math, guys. It's so hard. All right. For the 32 inches that fits a size 8 wrist, I did 8 inches of seed beads on each side. Oops, see, I've gotten a little carried away here. So I did 8 inches of seed beads, and oh, I was just not even paying attention to what I'm doing here. Oh, do I want to take some of these off? Yeah, because I want to make sure I show you guys this right. All right, sticking this back on. Hi, Anne. I used one of your little charms in my bracelet here. I'm going to show you guys these samples real quick while I give myself a second to think of the math. So here's the 2 samples that I did. And guys, this is a great project to use up bead soup, any one-off charms that you have. Here I have a little enamel leaf from Guardian Beads, a little succulent that we carry, and then one of my buttons that we made from the faux tin class. And we're going to do another session in August, so if you guys missed the first faux tin sessions, we're going to do another one in August. And then here I did, this one was actually 40 inches, my first one, which doesn't really work for a necklace. So this one's 32 inches, works perfectly for a necklace. And this one I used a little bee charm for the clasp, and I used one of my little Humblebead flowers, and then I had this little octagon charm that looked like a little beehive. And then this one is the variation I'm going to show you in a slightly different color. I used one of the check glass shell beads that Cassandra from Beads to Live By carries, and then I have a little what's that called, a nautilus shell from Firefly Designs on Etsy. It's Michelle McCarthy. She makes really great ceramic beads. And then I have my little starfish and a mix of bead soup. Okay, so let me get back to this. What I did for my pattern is for every inch of beaded crochet part, I did 12 beads. Oop, yeah, for every inch. And then about every 1.5 to 2 inches, I would string on a metal spacer, which helps give the bead crochet a little bit of weight because it's very, very lightweight. And then I did a 6mm melon, and then I would do another 1.5 or 2 inches. And I wasn't being real particular about how many beads were in between those sections of melon and other beads. Oop. Yeah, I recommend a big eye needle for this, but like I said, they were all gone, and we do not have a craft store within our town, which is just a tragedy, isn't it? So the big eye needles, they open up really wide, and you can stick your thread on there, and then you can bend it a little to have that curve. And that works really well. This is just some little reject needle that I had in my stash. Okay, so I'm going to pretend this is the center of the bracelet. So I would keep going, repeating the pattern of 1.5 to 2 inches of the beads, and then the spacer in the melon. So you can see how that kind of plays out along the wrist, adds a nice little texture. And these little ones, and the ones I used on these two, are actually new melons that we're going to have on the website, and they're faceted melons, so they're a little bit more sparkly than the regular melons. Okay, in the center portion of the bracelet, so I did 8 inches of seed beads and melons strung, so that was 8 inches. And then I put on a spacer, and then I had 10 beads from size 6 through 12 millimeter flowers, and that's what I have on both sides. So I'm just gonna mix this around a little so that we have some color variation on both sides. Oh, I have 2 light beads. Oh well. Oh, I could do. There we go. So I'm going to string these on, and this would be the center of the necklace. So an 8-inch long bracelet is, no, I'm sorry, 8 inches strung on both sides of the little section through here will give you a 32-inch crocheted piece length. That's what I want to say. Oh, guys, I can't tell you how hard I mathed today and how much it hurt. Okay, in the center of the 5, I'm putting another spacer because I'm going to have my charms my charms on both sides. And one of the big charms going to go on that little area right there. Okay, I know this is really fun to watch. Sorry. All right. And so those seashells that I'm going to be using today are from Cassandra's at Beads to Live By. And I have like the perfect purplish color. It's like pinkish purple, and oh, it's going to look really pretty with this mix. Okay, so when I get to the end of my center, so I have the 10 beads with a spacer in the middle, I'm going to do another 8 inches of the seed beads and then the melon and spacer on the other side. Every 1.5 to 2 inches. And they don't have to be exact. In fact, I think it looks a little better if they're not exactly the same on both sides. Okay, so who has bead crocheted before? Leave in the comments if you've tried the bead crochet before. This is single bead crochet, so it's a simple chain stitch. It's really easy to do, you guys, I promise. I promise you can do it with just a little bit of practice. Okay, so I'm going to pretend that I've done the 8 inches on this side, and then so I have 8 inches on this side, and what I'm going to do is you need enough beads after you have your 8 inches to go around your clasp, whatever your clasp is going to be, whether it's a button or a charm or a little bead. And these ones, the easiest way to do this is to put it on a head pin and do a wrapped loop, and then we're going to add the add this as the clasp. So I'm going to do a wrapped loop as I look for my pliers. All right, here we go. I'm going to roll that over and make a simple loop, and then we're going to grab our pliers, hold on to the loop here, and wrap around 2 times tightly. And then I'm going to do a few more wraps underneath or over the first wraps that I did. Oh, I love it. All of this great, yes, you guys, you've, who said that they're clumsy? Oh no, I can't scroll up on my comments. Oh, there we go. Lisa, you said you're clumsy. I am not very graceful at this either. And I try to find a rhythm, but it doesn't come easy. When I was a little girl, my mom crocheted like obsessively. And oh my gosh, she made the most beautiful doilies in the world. She was such a perfectionist at it too, and I think that's how she coped having a wild bunch of kids. And oh, she just made the most beautiful things. And I have some little angels and snowflakes that she made me for my tree. Yeah, I love the crochet with the cotton. Okay, so here we have our little guy here. Wonky crochet. There we go. Okay, so for the for this size, let's see what I did. I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. About 10 beads. So I'm going to string on 10 beads, and this is 10 extra beads after the 16 inches of seed beads that you've... Okay, let me make sure I say this right. So you're going to have 8 inches of seed beads on each side with the little melons and spacers, and then you have your, this is about 4 inches in the middle. So by the time you're all done, you're going to have about 20 inches of beads strung before you get started. So I know that's kind of a lot to remember, but you need 16 inches of the seed beads, and then this is 4 inches, so it's 20 altogether to make the 32-inch bracelet slash necklace. Okay, so I have my beads all strung for my fake mini bracelet that we're making here, and I'm just gonna move things out of the way so that the camera will focus in the right spot. Oop, of course. Yes, I'm so graceful. Okay. Hopefully that'll help. All right, to get this started, I just leave a little tail, like 2 to 3 inches. And this color, this is like a russet, dark copper color, and Bead Shop is where I get it from. Okay. I am, okay. I had a total brain meltdown there. Okay, I'm gonna wrap this around my finger, and then I'm gonna pull the little piece up through my my hole there, and it's gonna make a loop. I'll show you guys that again in case it's your first time bead crocheting and you've never done this before. So I'm gonna wrap it around my finger. I've made a loop, and then I'm gonna pull the back thread through that loop and then pull down, and that makes a little knot right there. You're going to stick your crochet hook through there and tighten it up. And one of the biggest tips I can give you for doing the bead crochet is that you have to hold the beads in a way that's comfortable, that you have enough tension, which tension means how tight this is pulled. So you want to have a tight tension on the string, that it's pulled really tight. You want the beads to be able to be pushed up and around your finger pretty easily. And you don't want to have your fingers like spread out really far because you don't want to strain your hands. So that's my first tips for you guys. So you're going to have one bead fall down here. You're going to take your crochet hook and you're going to wrap it around the thread, and you're putting it inside that little hook. So it's in the hook, and you're pulling it down through the hole. So you have the little loop that your crochet hook has gone through. First, your bead is here, and you're going to wrap your thread around the crochet hook and pull it down into the loop underneath the bead. Okay, so I'm going to repeat that. So you're going to wrap it around and pull down underneath the bead. So again, it's wrapping around the hook, catching onto the little hook and pulling it down. Aw, Sheila, you taught your granddaughter how to do bead crochet bracelets for her friend. That's a really great little project for the summertime. Okay, so we're just gonna zip along here, pushing your bead down. You're gonna wrap your crochet hook around the thread, grab onto it with the hook, and then pull it through the loop underneath the bead. And you're just going to keep going. This is going to be the hoop, so we're going to do the 10 beads. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm going to do one more just in case. Okay, so this is the hoop that we're going to do. So now I'm going to go back to my first bead that I did, and I'm going to go underneath that bead. So I put the hook underneath the bead. Let me make sure you guys can see that. So the hook is underneath the bead on the first loop. And I'm going to hold on to my thread here. I'm going to grab just the thread, no bead, and pull it through the first hoop, and then pull it through the second hoop. And this is going to be our little clasp here. Okay, so that's going to be the loop on our clasp. And now we're going to start with the actual bracelet part. So the first 10 or 11 beads, we did that into a loop, and that's the hook, or excuse me, the hoop for the loop for the clasp. And now we're going to be crocheting the rest of the necklace. I mean bracelet / necklace. And I'm going to do this fairly quickly, so you're just push the bead down, let it slide down from the top of your finger. The trick is to wrap the hook around, so you see it's starting on the front and I'm wrapping it behind. So your hook's in the front, you wrap it behind and pull it down through the loop underneath the bead. And you're going to have to pull your beads every so often because you're going to run out of string. You got to give yourself some more thread. Okay, again, so I have my bead that's down here. I'm going from the front, wrapping around the back, pulling it down through the loop underneath the bead. What do you guys think? You got it? Pam, this is a size 8 crochet hook. And I'm using C-Lon thread. C-Lon thread, it's a polyester thread. It holds up really well over time. Comes in lots of pretty colors. And I get that from beadshop.com. And this is just the regular size C-Lon thread. Oops. And once I get a groove, and I'm not doing it on camera, I can whip one of these up in about 40 minutes. So it's a nice little project to do outside on the patio while you're listening to the birds and getting some sun. Or if you're traveling, it'll be a good little project to work on. It's a great project to take on vacation with you because you can just take a little box of beads and make some fun little bracelets. And it's a very relaxing. Like once you get the groove and you get the hang of it, it's pretty enjoyable. Oh, C-Lon is nylon. Thank you, Diana. It's Diana. Ugh, my brain today, you guys. I was feeling so foggy, and I don't think I got enough sleep, but I was like, maybe I'll reschedule the video. But I was like, no, I can't do that to you guys. You're all excited about crocheting. So you'll have to excuse me if I'm a little goofy. And I'm gonna whip this out really quick so that we can get on to the next part, which is the crocheting the different size beads, and I'll show you how that goes, which it's exactly the same as this, but you're just have a larger loop behind the bead, because see, these are pretty small little single crochets, right, Barbara? Take some iced tea outside with some good music on your phone and enjoy the birds and sunshine and all the beautiful flowers. And make something pretty. And again, I did 8 inches of the seed beads with the spacers and melons mixed in about every 1.5 inches. And then we have 10 beads in the middle. Okay. Now I'm getting here to all the mixed sizes. So same exact technique. I'm gonna wrap the cord, the crochet hook goes from the front to the back, wrapping around, and you're gonna pull it underneath the bead, and then you pull the thread tightly so that it doesn't have any slack underneath the bead. So I'm gonna do this for the melon. And so you just pull that tightly so that those beads are nice and snug next to each other. And now this is a 10mm melon that I have here in the middle. Exactly the same, just pulling it nice and tightly. Oh, and you don't want to pull too tightly. Let me get a little more slack in there. I'm going to redo that one. You don't want to pull it too tightly because they'll kind of kink up and lay weird, so you want to have a little bit of movement there. Oop. so not pulling it too tight. Okay, now we have, this is a 9mm flower here. Exactly the same technique, except what we have on the back is a big loop instead of the little tiny loops. And now I'm here at the center with my little tiny 4mm bead, and now we're going to jump to a 12mm bead. And this is a little more tricky. To get that thread down there. Okay. And I'm going to pull that nice and tight, and I'm going to do one extra crochet just with the thread, just so there's a little bit of extra room on the other side there, so that the next bead will lay a little flatter and not be bunched up underneath my bead. And when you see me, just, it doesn't look like much, but I'm actually pulling the thread with my finger to tighten it up underneath, so that those all lay nice and snug next to each other. Not too tight though, because you don't want them to like bunch up. They'll get kind of funky. The trick is, after each time you're just pulling the tension tight, you're pulling that thread really tight on the other side of the bead. And you saw in the bigger beads, it just takes a little finessing to get the hook underneath your bead. Okay. I'm going to do some on the other side here as quickly as I can. And so I am constantly repositioning this little pile of beads on that lay on top of my finger, so that I can get these down as easily and as quickly as I possibly can. And I don't want to put a lot of strain like holding this finger up. I want it to be pretty relaxed. The multi-size beads, it's a super fun and easy way to add a lot of texture. And you could have little beads in between, like they don't have to be all bunched up next to each other like I did here. I just did that because I wanted like a focal area on my design. And again, repositioning the top row of beads so that I have a nice tight tension, but keeping my fingers pretty relaxed so that I'm not going to be cramping up here. You don't want hand cramps. Okay, so I'm going to just, again, you slide your bead down. You want your thread tension to be nice and tight, and you're going with the crochet hook from the front around to the back. It's going to hook on to the cord and pull it through the loop underneath your bead. So again, we're wrapping it from the front to the back, grabbing onto that cord and pulling down. Front to the back, grabbing onto your cord and pulling down. And this is a simple chain stitch with beads. It's the easiest crocheting you can do. And it's just nice and relaxing. You may be a little tense at first when you're trying to learn how to do it, but just keep going. And if you do make a mistake or it doesn't turn out, all you do is take your You just take that out and pull on your thread and your last stitches will come undone. So there's no tragedy. It's easy to undo the stitches and fix a mistake if you have one. Getting to the end here. Then I'm going to show you how I attach the bead on the end here to make the clasp. Okay, make sure you pull that nice and tight when you do the larger beads. So what do you guys think? Easy? You can do it? Are you pulling out your beads right now? And works really great with any kind of button for the clasp, or any a charm that's at least a 1/2 inch works well. It needs to be at least a 1/2 inch. And that's what I did for the bee one that you guys saw in the example. I just used a charm, and then this one I used a bead on the head pin. You guys saw me do that already. And then the other one with the butterfly, I used a faux tin button that I had made from our faux tin class. Okay, a few more here. Lynn, any shape or kind of bead that you would avoid with the crochet? So Lynn, I found that 12 millimeter is the biggest size that I would go. And as far as shape, I probably wouldn't do like a really long bead, like a tube or a drop, just because you'll just see too much of the thread on the other side of it. I just think it would look a little funky. Whereas the round 12 millimeter kind of covers up the thread with the wideness of the bead. So I would avoid long skinny beads like the tubes, or and also big hole beads. I wouldn't use a big hole bead on this because it would just look a little funky too. So no big hole beads, and tube beads or drops. I wouldn't use long skinny beads. Great question. Everything else, fair game. Go for it. Just do it. And if you put one on and it doesn't look right, you just, well, it's a little hard. The hard thing about the bead crochet is that you have to pre-string everything. So that's the only trick, is that it has to be pre-strung. But also, if you're not sure about a bead, you could just do a little test and just do a few little samples to see what looks better. That's all I did, was play around and see what worked best. Okay. Last bead for my bracelet here. And when you get to the last bead, you're going to leave about 6 inches of string, cut it off, and then you're just going to pull your crochet hook, and you're going to tie a knot on the end here and get this knot as close to the last bead as you can. Just like that. And now I'm going to take my bead that I did on the wire, the head pin, and we're going to put this on, and we're going to go through the loop, and we're going to do this several times so that it's on there really nice and secure. So I'm going to wrap that around one time, and I'm going to go through, I'm going to do it at least 3 times where I'm going through the loop here on the button, bead. So I have it wrapped around. I think I'm going to do one more time. Four seems good. Okay, so I have it wrapped through the loop 4 times. And then I'm going to wrap it around my finger. And do a simple knot. And I'm going to have this knot go underneath the loop. Nice and tight. And I'm going to do this about 3 times to get a really secure connection. Just hate for anything to come undone. And each one of these knots, I'm doing it underneath the last one. Okay, that looks and feels pretty good. Now I'm going to, just gonna grab that to put underneath. I have some super glue here. You can use beader's glue too. And I'm just gonna glue the knots on both sides. Okay, so while those are drying, I'm going to add on my 2 charms. And let's see, where did I? Looking for my size 8 jump rings here. Here we go. Diana, I am not 100% sure. Oh, here we go. So this is from Bead Shop, and it just says the regular C-Lon. So I don't know anything else other than it's the regular C-Lon from beadshop.com. The pile of beads up here, is that what you are talking about, Barbara? That's my my bracelet. Is that the one you meant? Okay. Oh, I think these ones are too thick. Okay, we're gonna have to pull out the jump ring box here. All right. There we go. So I'm using size 8 jump rings for this. Alright, now I'm going to go back here and I'm going to, here it's easier to slip on your charm first. So I have my charm on the jump ring, and then I'm going to slip it through one side of this spacer bead. There we go. And I'm going to close this up nice and tight. And I'm going to repeat on the other side of that spacer. Okay. With my little nautilus shell, and those are from Firefly Designs on Etsy. Michelle McCarthy is the artist. And she's a ceramic artist, so they're ceramic. Okay, so there I have my cute little center. Lisa, you didn't sound uppity ever. Okay, and I'm going to cut this off, and if you have a thread zapper, you can use your thread zapper. And then the last step that I did for these, I used the little tiny crimp beads. Oh, Marcia, the charms are attached on the cord on either side of that center spacer bead. So the spacer bead's right in the center, and the charms are attached on either side of that spacer bead with the 8mm jump rings. Okay. I'm going to take this guy. So this is like a little clamshell crimp cover. I'm just going to stick that on there. And then pinch it on both sides to just cover that knot up just a little bit. So there we have, that's how I finished it on both sides with the crimp covers. This side I might not be able to, might have to just do the thread zapper and be done with it on that side. But I didn't do the measurement for this because it was just my sample, but looks like I could almost get it around maybe once or twice. Oh, it's just a little too long to do. Anyways, this was just the sample. Just to show you guys that you didn't have to watch me string 20 inches of beads and crochet them, but that's how it's gonna look. And then again, I will show you guys the finished samples that we did. This one was with a gardeny copper, purple, and green mix. Oops, helps if I show. And I used a button from my faux tin class. And then we have a succulent and one of Gardan's enamel leaves. And then I did stick in a wobble, one of my little polymer clay wobbles on this one, because I thought it needed at least one little humble bead. And then for this one we have the bee as the clasp, and I'll just show you guys how that works. So I attached it exactly the same way we did the head pin, except I just went around the bee pendant several times, and then it just slips through the loop, and that's our clasp for the bracelet. And this one, oh my gosh, I made this one just kind of crazy. It was my first one. I forgot about math and just wrapped it around until until it looked right. So this one goes around 5 times, and it's 40 inches. And the other ones that I did that I think worked a little bit better for me, oops, that's upside down, was that I wrapped it 4 times. And these ones are for an 8-inch size wrist, and it goes around 4 times. and that was 16 inches of the seed beads and 4 inches of the middle, so it was 20 inches altogether before we started crocheting. So 8 inches on each side of the center beads. Hopefully that's not too confusing. I think I'll write it down and put it in the descriptions when I take a photo of today's finished projects so that you guys have that. Oh, hopefully you guys enjoyed this and learned something fun and new. And since you sat with me through this entire time, let's go ahead and do a giveaway. All right, 1 second. I'm going to share my screen real quick so that we can see the giveaway. There we go. So hashtag crochet. I'm going to give you guys a few minutes to to enter that. And so just so you guys know, so if you want to do the math yourself, 12 beads equals 1 inch. So 12 seed beads equals 1 inch on the bracelet. So if you guys want to do the math to figure out how many inches you're going to need for your own bracelet, like maybe you have a tiny wrist, or yeah, my wrist is about 8.5, and this one fits really well. And this was the 32-inch finished piece. And this is going to be a $30 gift certificate to humblebeads.com. I have some things we'll be adding this afternoon, which are the seed bead mixes. So we have the peach and sandy colored mix that I used for this bracelet, then the bee one, the gardeny one that I used for the butterfly bracelet, and then this really pretty sand and shore one that we have. Oh, Julianne, you have surgery later this week. Yes, so this will be a great project to sit and when you're feeling better, to sit and work on for sure. All right, and we also have the little melon beads that we'll be adding to the website. And then if you guys want to sign up for the Faux 10 class, or if you did take the Faux 10 class and you want to share that it's going to be available again, we're going to do that again for August. Just zipping through here and looking at all your guys' comments to make sure I didn't miss any questions. I think I got everything. Yeah. All right. So if you guys do have any questions, you can feel free to ask that. Oh, Vicki, yes, this is perfect. It's convertible. So yes, you can wear it as a bracelet or a necklace. And so this one I would probably wear just as a bracelet because it has the pretty clasp. I wouldn't want to hide in the back. But this one for sure works really pretty as a bracelet. And it's going to be 32 inches. So it's a necklace. It's a great necklace for layering. And so you can do a few different necklaces, you know, skinny little ones with charms on them, and then have this as the most textured one. Yes. Yeah, Sherry, you'll be able to go back and watch everything. All right, so I think everybody's entered. Yeah, so if somebody was asking, we did use a size 8 crochet hook. All right, here we go. We're going to do the drawing now. All right, let's see. Crossing my fingers for you guys. Oh, Lori! Yay! Oh, yes. Great. Congratulations, Lori. Jessie will go ahead and email you. You won't need to do anything. Julianne asks if you could crochet with the waxed Irish linen, and it's too sticky. Julianne, you got it. So the nice thing about the C-Lon thread is that it's very smooth, and so it works really well for crochet. And also the C-Lon holds together really well, and so it just works superior for bead crochet. There's some other threads that people use with bead crochet, but this is the one that I picked, and I think it holds up really nicely to lots of wear and tear. So that's another great use for it, and it's inexpensive and comes in tons of beautiful colors, and you guys can find that at beadshop.com. And what brand hook did I use? You know, this is just the Walmart special. I don't know. It didn't have a brand. It just it was just whatever was available, and so it doesn't say any brand on here, but it's just an inexpensive steel crochet hook. And there are some that have like ergonomical handles, which are a little easier. Let's see. Lisa, I will share, maybe it's just Firefly Ceramics. I'm not sure. Let me look up Michelle's website, Etsy shop, and I'll put that in the description on the photo that I post with the picture that I take for today. And I will include my math so that you guys have the math, so that you don't have to remember, because I have a hard time remembering it. All right, guys, so new beads coming to the website before 5 o'clock today. And thank you guys so much for joining me. Super appreciate having you here. And let me know if you have any questions. Leave comments if I didn't answer your question. Ruth Ann, hopefully I'll see you tomorrow. And you guys take care, and I will see you guys next week. We're going to do Bead Table Tuesday, and I'm pretty sure we'll be doing the Mary Kay unboxing, because it's already the beginning of June. All right, guys, you have a great day, and I'll talk to you next Tuesday. Bye.